Ang i-discuss pa natin today is about sum of two cubes po, which is our lesson 1.3, factoring pa din. Okay, so we have here b cubed plus c cubed. So, may pattern po tayong susundin. So, for this one, titignan po muna natin paano mangyayari po dun sa pattern niya. So, it will be dito po sa una. So, bali magkakaroon po tayo ulit ng dalawang set ng parentheses. And then, kokopyahin po yung B and yung C dito sa unahan, pati po yung sign. Now, so dito naman po sa loob, ang mangyayari, kuhanin natin yung B and then yung C dito po sa dulo. And then, lalagyan natin ng squared parehas or 2 as their exponents. And then, para naman po sa gitna, dito po sa gitna, kung ito po ay sum, ang usapan po natin ay sum, so, yung nasa gitna po, kabaligtaran naman ang sign nito. So, it will be negative. It should be negative. And then, yung multiplication po nitong dalawa. So, we will have here B times C, so B, C. And then, of course, this one is positive. So, ang maiiba lang po is this one. So, kung this one is positive, then this should be negative. And then, so that is our answer. For our next example, let's have okay, let's have this. Let's say we have 125 a cubed minus 64. So, ang una po natin gagawin is kokopyahin yung A and then the other two numbers. Now, the problem is, kanina wala tayong number, but then now we have here, 125 and then 64. As you can see po, yung B dito na wala yung exponents. That's why, ibig sabihin po, kukunin ko natin yung cube root. So, when we say cube root, tatlong pare-parehas na number na pinag-multiply sa sarili. So, ibig sabihin, ang 125 po, kung gagamit po tayo ng factor 3, it is 125 is 25 times 5. And then, ang 25 po ay 5 times 5. So, meaning, ang ating cube root, o yung number na pare-parehas na pag pinag-multiply, 125 ang lalabas, our cube root is 5. And then, for the 64, we have 64. And then, the 64 natin ay 8 times 8. Tama? And then, for the 8 times 8, so, 8 and 8, pareha silang may 4 and 2. Ito naman sa kabila, syempre, 4 and 2 din. So, meron tayong dalawa dito na 4. And then, yung dalawa na yun, pag pinag-multiply natin sila sa isa't isa, ang magiging sagot din po ay 4. So, ibig sabihin, pag pinag-multiply po natin ng 4, 4 and 4, ang magiging sagot po ay 64. That's why we can say that our root is 4. Yun naman po ang ipapalit natin kay 125 at kay 64. Parenthesis ulit. Okay po. So, 125, instead na 125 siya dito, so, square nga po, that's square. Root. So, ang root po natin ay 5. And then, as you can see po, yung nangyari sa letters, nagiging isa na lang po, nawawala na yung cube root or yung cube na exponent. So, it will be 5a. And then, minus, gagayahin lang po yung sign. So, actually, this one is difference. So, pwede siyang sum of two cubes or difference of two cubes. That's why the first one is sum of two cubes and this one is difference of two cubes. But then, parehas din lang din po halos yung gagawin. Ang magkakaiba lang po is yung signs. Okay, so, cube root of 125 is 5, and then, the cube root of a cube is a. And then, for the 64, sabi nga po natin, ang ipapalit natin is root, which is 4. And then, on this side naman po, tandaan po, kukunin natin yung nandito, and then we will put square on them. So, meaning, dito po sa kabila, we will have 5a squared. And then, on the other side, yung 4, lalagyan po natin siya ng squared. And then sa gitna po, kung ito ay negative, ito po ay magiging positive. And then, ipagmumultiply silang dalawa. So, 5a times 4. And this one is plus. Ayan, pasensya na po masikip. Now, so, copy lang natin tong isa. So, 5a minus 4. And then, 5 squared. Yung square po na yun, i-distribute natin kay 5 and kay 8. So, 5 squared, it is not 5 times 2. It is 5 times 5. Dalawang 5. So, that is 25a squared plus 5 times 4 is 20a plus 4 times 4, it is not 4 times 2, it is 4 times 4 rather. So, that's why it is 16. So, ang sagot po natin is 5a minus 4 times 25a squared plus 20a plus 16. Okay, so for our last example about sum or difference of two cubes, let us have this example. So let's say we have 27c cubed minus 8d cubed. So ayan po, pares may constant and pares din pong may literal coefficient, or let's say numerical coefficient. So ayan po. Let's start. So una po, kukuhanin po muna natin yung mga roots nila. So 27, to get the root of that, i-factor out natin yung 27. So ang pinag-multiply po for 27, we have 9 and then 3. And then for the 9, we have 3 times 3. Again, in getting the root, kailangan lang po natin ng factors na magkakaparehas. So we have here tatlong 3. And then for the c, of course, it is c times c times c. So the root is of course c. For the 8d cube naman po, we have the 8. Ang 8 po ulit ay 4 times 2. And then ang 4 po natin ay dalawang 2. That's why ang root naman natin kay 8 is 2. Kay 27 we have 3. And then kay d cube, kung ganun din yung kay c, of course, it is d times d times d. That's why our root for the d cube is d. Now, so yung sa pattern po natin, sulat po muna tayo ng 2 pairs of parentheses. Now, yung mga roots po natin, pagsasamahin po natin sa unahan. So, we have 27c cubed. So, ang 27, ang root niya ay 3. And then, ang c naman po, ang c cube, ang root ay c. 3c. Sila pa rin po yung magkasama. And then, minus, gagayahin lang po yung nakalagay doon. And then, ang root po ng 8, which is 2. And then, ang root ng d cube, we have d. Now, kopyahin to at ito sa magkabilang dulo. So, 3c and then 2d. Lalagyan sila parehas ng squared. Ayan. Kamali ako. Ayan. 2d squared. And then, sa gitna po, tandaan, if this is negative, dito po, magiging positive. Pero, kung ito po ay positive, ito naman po ay magiging negative. And then, this one, yung magkabilang dulo po, pareha silang positive. Now, para po dun sa gitna, kopyahin silang dalawa, kasi ipagmumultiply sila sa isa't isa. Okay. So, copy this one. So, we will have 3c minus 2d times 3 squared. That is not 3 times 2 again. It is 3 times 3. Dalawang 3. So, that is 9c squared plus 3 times 2 is 6. Then, copy the two variables. You have c, d plus dalawang 2. So, that is 2 times 2, which is 4d squared. So, yan po yung sagot natin. For our next lesson, we have factoring trinomials. So, our first example is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So, in this factoring of trinomials, hindi po muna natin gagamitin yung FOIL method. Bale, sa next video na po natin gagawin yun. So, in this one po, this will turn out as square of binomial. So, ibig sabihin, pag sinabi pong square of binomial, magiging ganito po siya. May term dito, plus yung another term, and then square. So, ibig sabihin, parehas po yung mga nilalaman nila. Kung ano yung laman dito sa kabila, sa first one, ganun din dito sa first niya. Kung ano po yung dito sa pangalawa, ganun din sa pangalawa. So, ganun po yung kalabasan ng sagot natin. So, now, to get that, we have here a squared and then b squared. As you can see, meron tayong a, b sa gitna. Okay po? So, pag tinignan po natin, ang exponent nitong a is 2, and then the following is 1, and then wala nang a dito. Dito naman po, 2, and then 1 na b, and then wala nang b. So, with that, nakita po natin na parehas positive sila. Ibig sabihin, ito pong positive dito sa dulo, ang ibig pong sabihin yan ay like, or same, or sa Tagalog po ay parehas. Parehas na ano daw? So, ang sinasabi po nito, parehas na anong sign? Ito naman po yung sinasabi. Parehas na positive. That's why lalagyan po natin ng positive. And then, next pattern po natin is, kunin lang po itong A na to. And then, kukunin yung B. So, kung first po ay A, of course, dito po ay A din. And then, ang B po, ayun. So, B din po dito. So, ang sagot po natin is A plus B times A plus B, or A plus B quantity squared. Next one po, let's have x squared plus 6x plus 9. So with that, sabi po, pag positive to, parehas. Pero if ito po ay negative, ibig sabihin po magkaiba ang sign. So, sa FOIL method na po natin gagamitin yun. Kasi, pag square of binomial po ang dapat kalabasan, it means dapat po parehas. So, parehas po na positive. And then, so, 9, ang square root ng 9, ang pinagmumultiply po kay 9 ay 3 times 3. So, pwede natin sabihin ngayon na yung digit dito ay 3 and 3. And then, x, dalawang x. So, tig-isa silang x sa magkabilang side. Ngayon po, paano naman po siya naging 6x? So, kung titingnan nyo po ito, dito sa nauna nating example, may 2 po. So, pag ganito po yung gagawin po natin, makikita nyo po, try natin ito mamayang sa sagot naman po gagawin natin ganito para mas maintindihan nyo po. But then, pag ganito po kasi, pag sinolve po natin to, x and x squared, and then 3 and 3, 3 times 3 is 9, and then, dalawang 3 na yan, pag pinagsama po, we will have the 6. Okay po. So, for our next example, gawin na naman po natin yung kabaligtaran po ng square of trinomials. Factoring trinomials. Gawin naman po natin yung from dun po sa sagot kanina, and then, pabalik naman po dun sa kaninang given. But let's have other examples. Okay po. So, that's what we call square of binomial naman. So, let's say we have... Okay, so let's have... A minus 4 quantity squared. So, let's have this example po. A minus 4 quantity squared. So, the first thing to do is... Again, ayan. First thing to do with this one is copy this 2. So, dito po yung isa, A, and then, sa gitna po, leave it blank muna, and then 4, get that 4 with the sign. And then, pareha silang lalagyan ng squared. Yan po yung pattern natin. And then, sa middle naman po, lalagyan po natin ng 2. And then, after that, kunin yung A and then yung 4. Multiply natin siya dun kay 2. Tandaan po para hindi kayo mahirapan kung ano po yung nandito po sa harapan, nandun sa taas, yun po ilalagay dito sa unahan nung middle part or middle term, I mean. So, A squared is A times A, so that is A squared. And then, ito, nalimutan ko lagay ng sign, negative 4. So, 2 times 4 is 8. And then, dahil walang kapartner yung negative, it will be negative 8A. And then, for the last one, 4 times 4 is 16. And then, negative times negative is positive. That's why the answer here is A squared minus 8A plus 16. Again, tandaan po, kinuha yung una, kinuha yung pangalawa sa magkabilang dulo. And then, nilagyan po natin ng square. And then, for the middle part, kung ano po yung nandun sa taas, we will have it here sa baba. And then, A, ayun, and then negative 4, ito po. Sinundan lang po natin yung nasa Pascal's triangle. So, pwede nyo pong i-search yung pattern if you like to. So, yun po yung sagot. So, kaya po, pag yung ganito naman po, gagawin naman pong ganun, kukuhanin po natin, ito po yung given natin kanina, tapos ito yung sagot natin kanina dun sa mga naunang example. Ngayon naman po, ito, tapos naging ganito. From square of binomial, naging trinomial. And then, yung trinomial naman po natin, try natin gawin na square of binomial. Okay. So, kunin yung first one, ilagay sa magkabilang side. And then, sabi po ng sign na to, parehas. Ibig sabihin po ng positive dito sa pangatlong term. Pag positive, that is parehas or like. Pag negative naman po, unlike. So, parehas na negative. And then, ang factors po ng 16 ay 8 times 2. And then, pwede rin naman pong 4 times 4. Kaya po, ang ilalagay po natin na factors is 4 and 4 kasi kailangan nga po square of binomial. So, kailangan parehas po yung factors. So, 4 and then 4. And then, ngayon po, titignan po natin, ba't naman siya naging negative 8A? So, A times A is A squared. And then, yung 4 times 4 naman po is 16, kaya po natin nalagay na 4. And then, parehas na negative. And then, to make sure kung tama, dahil nga parehas silang negative, pag pinag-add po ba sila, 8 ang sagot. So, if it is 8, then, tama po yung sagot. So, since parehas sila ng sign, i-add, and then, copy the sign. That's why it is negative 8A. So, that is how or what we do in factoring trinomial, which is, ang magiging sagot po ay square of binomial.